Trading costs can destroy a backtest even when every completed trade stays the same. A gross result can look healthy, then shrink once fees and worse fills arrive. That does not mean the signal vanished. It means the paper result may have left out the price of acting on it. The question is not whether a strategy should trade differently. It is what remains when the same trades are priced more harshly. First, separate the words. Fees are the charges for entering and leaving a trade. They are explicit. Slippage is getting a worse execution price than the backtest assumed. It hides inside the fill price. Market impact is different again. It is our own order moving the price while we get filled. A strategy can pay fees and slippage without being large enough to create market impact. Here is the controlled test. We freeze the completed trade list, the same entries, exits, order, and test period. Bars and trade order stay fixed. Fees stay fixed. Then this cost test reprices the same trades with a harsher slippage assumption. First at twice, then at 3 times the assumed slippage. It changes slippage only. It does not test a new fee schedule, a new signal, or new fills. Think of the result as a waterfall. Start with gross profit and loss, subtract the fixed fees, then subtract the adverse fill cost. Only that slippage block grows as the stress increases. One changing block reveals cause and effect. Use an illustrative ledger. 80 completed turns make $12,000 before costs. Fees remove $2,000. Baseline slippage removes $1,500, leaving $8,500 net. Double only the slippage, and net falls to $7,000. Triple it, and net falls to $5,500. Every trade and fee is unchanged. The widening amber block is the experiment. The trade tiles above the waterfall do not move, disappear, or multiply. If a new price assumption changes which trades appear, that is a different implementation, not a clean cost test. That is why gross and net equity need to stay aligned. Both curves use the same trade order, and their drawdowns sit directly underneath on the same horizontal scale. Gross profit alone cannot show that path. You are not hunting for a dramatic endpoint. You are asking where the costed path bends, how far it falls from its prior high, and whether recovery becomes harder. In an illustrative path, gross equity falls from $10,000 to $8,000, so it needs 25% to regain the peak. Stressed net equity falls from $6,000 to $3,000, so it needs 100%. The ending gap understates how much harder the recovery became. Next, inspect cast per completed turn. Rank the turns from small to large, then split each bar into fixed fee and slippage. Use 10 line and dollars per completed turn. Turnover simply means how often the strategy completes a buy and sell cycle. More turns create more opportunities for a small per turn cost to compound. $7 of execution drag over 40 turns costs $280. Over 400 turns it costs $2,800. The per turn assumption did not change. Frequency multiplied its effect. That is a sensitivity relationship, not a verdict about whether the strategy is too active. Now make the boundary visible. A turnover chart can show illustrative net profit and loss under several slippage assumptions. It still does not measure capacity. Capacity asks how much money or how many contracts a strategy can trade before its own orders materially change the price. A larger order can reach deeper than a smaller order. Even a clean straight-line stress curve cannot justify scaling it to larger orders. Available volume changes by price, time, and volatility. The next contract may cost more than the last. That needs order size, available liquidity, volatility, and an impact model. Do not call this a live fill claim. This cost test changes slippage only and does not establish capacity or live fills. It does not simulate queue position, partial fills, routing, or consumed depth. A pass is bounded evidence that the same completed trades were less sensitive to a particular stress assumption. A failure says the recorded edge was fragile under that assumption. The practical conclusion is modest. Fees belong in net results. Slippage deserves its own tougher test. Market impact and capacity remain separate questions. Keep the signal frozen, show the gross to net path, and label illustrative examples as illustrative. Then take an unchanged candidate to the next independent test, such as nearby settings, or trade order, not to a deployment claim. It is a cleaner question, not a promise.